Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Tuesday Tea Time. I am just home. It's been raining all morning, and if I'm honest, I'll tell you that I did sleep most of the morning. So now I'm just coming out to the pasture to see my horses, and I thought I'd do tea time out here with them. I know some of you will watch this live and some of you will watch it at another time. It's all good. Welcome whenever it is you get to join me. So it's interesting, as I pulled up it was still raining, and I looked out the window of my car and I noticed, I'll just go ahead and turn the camera around so you can see some of it's still happening. So here's my little herd. And I want you to notice that the little Mustang is backed up into the bushes while it was raining. Ari, who's now lying down, was in the same position as the other little Mustang, lying down. Sorry, they were both back up in the bushes. Now he's lying down. As soon as the rain stopped, he came out and joined his domestic friends. What's interesting to me is the two domestic horses I have, Ari and Raz. Sorry, I am quite sleepy, as you can tell. The two domestic horses I have, Atlas and Raz, were out in the rain, and the two Mustangs were backed up against the bushes, all protected. So this is interesting to me because I find that the horses who've spent considerable time out in the wild, they make really intelligent decisions for themselves because they spent a lot of time making intelligent decisions for themselves. And that's something I appreciate a lot. Not everybody does. And I thought I would talk about that a little bit today in tea time. I get asked for help frequently by people. But the kind of help that I want to give is not always the kind of help that people want to offer, people want in return. I offer the kind of help that helps horses be more thoughtful, be more aware, make better decisions. Because that's the kind of horse I want to ride. I want to ride a horse that thinks for themselves. The kind of horse that is going to be aware of their surroundings and make the best choice for them, including me as one of their herd mates. So that's what all of my training looks like. Not everybody trains like that. So the alternative that is very, very popular, and I just want to give some credit here to trainers who have given people what they want in horse training, is the theory that the horse should relax and trust you. And I don't subscribe to this. And that's really sort of an interesting thing when people come to me. They think they want what I'm offering. But sometimes they're disappointed when it's not just relax and trust me. So there's a lot of horse trainers in the world right now that are very successful, that are doing beautiful work, that I'm glad are out there, that will teach you how to cause relaxation in your horse so that they do what they are told to do. And this is controversial for me because I think that a lot of times those horses that relax and do what they're told get treated really well. And I want horses to be treated really well. I want them to have a life that is beautiful and cared for and all the good things that we all want for our horses. But the question is, at what cost? Do they start not thinking for themselves? Do they stop considering how to solve their own problems? So from the domestic horses that I've brought into my life, granted I take tricky ones, that's sort of who I am, but I often see that they've stopped problem solving unless there's a carrot at the end of it. They've stopped navigating real life in a way that makes them smart about taking care of their own body. And that is a thing that I find sad, and I would like to remedy that. I would like to help them be more aware of their choices, more aware of what's good for them, not just relax and do what Elsa tells you to do. And I feel like there's a trend in the horse world where you do kind of have to make a choice. Now, you don't have to make a total choice, because there can be times and places where you tell the horse they just need to relax and do as they're told. I can get behind that. But is that all the training you're going to do? Do you really want to embrace that as the end all to your training? I personally want to train in a way that makes my horses better as herd mates for each other, better in their life out in the pasture, all the hours of the day that I'm not there, and all the weeks of the year that I'm away teaching. Not everybody's going to want this. Some people just want their horses to do what they're told. And I would encourage everyone to be honest about this. If that's really what you want, then yes, absolutely, that's what you should train. And there's nothing wrong with wanting that, as long as you show up and you take good care of your horses and they have a fairly good life. There is going to be a small percentage of us that doesn't just want the horses to relax and do as they're told. There's going to be a small percentage of people in the world who want horses to live their very, very best life, whether they are with us or not. So we've got Atlas behind me, and we've got Sassafras coming to visit. I really want to develop a horse training program that not only makes horses better partners for people, but also helps them live their own life better. Hi, Sassafras. Where they feel like they can make really good decisions for their own body. They know how to back up to some bushes to protect themselves from the rain. They know where to stand to avoid the wind. They know how to avoid the flies. And you might say, sure, all horses know how to do that. That's not my observation. My observation is that horses lose some of that when 100% of your training is relax and do what you're told to do. That'll work well as long as you have one or two really good dominant horses in the herd that will tell them to do the right thing. But in the world we live in, people sell horses, people buy horses, people move them to new herds, new groups, new families. And then, do they know how to take care of themselves, how to make a decision, how to follow the evidence of what is the best choice at any given time? Thank you, Joe. They are beautiful. It's good to be home. Everybody's a little bit soggy and wet. It's been raining for the last day or so, but they're beautiful. So that's what I'm thinking about today. And I'll give you some examples. Okay, so a lot of trainers will talk about an inner calm and about just allowing the horses to relax and be in your presence and be peaceful. And I do that too, 100%. The difference is I do not try and make it happen. I don't do anything to cause relaxation. I'm sorry, Louise, that the video stopped. I think that might be on your end. I'm hoping it's on your end. We're going to keep going and hope at least the recording is continuing. I can always film it again if need be. So in this way of teaching that I do, I don't cause horses to be relaxed. I don't ask them to relax. I don't ask them to shut down their senses for my benefit. I allow that to be the default, which means I'm going to ask them to use their senses more. Huh, Sassafras? You can see Sassafras nuzzling my coat, exploring my coat. He is young. He is just learning about it. He doesn't get fed treats, so he's not looking for carrots. He is just navigating the human world because he's fairly wild still. He doesn't look it, but he was in the wild fairly recently, and he's just really inquisitive. And so we want to encourage this inquisitive behavior in ways that are really good, and then let him default to relaxation when he's done, when he's gathered enough information, when he knows what he needs to know to be able to rest in a way that makes him feel good. I didn't cause it. I'm not responsible for it. I make sure there's time for it. I make sure that there's time for him to investigate and gather information. And then there's also time for him to process it by shutting down his senses and relaxation and resting. There is importance in both things. But the difference in the way I train is I do not ask for relaxation. I allow it when they think it's a good idea. But I'm really going to trust the horses to make good decisions or make bad decisions and learn from them. I want to train in a place that is safe enough that they can figure things out. All right, Kelly says, that's what I'm dealing with now with a new pony who seems to think the only way to survive in a new herd is to be brutally dominant, which seems to be due to insecurity. Yeah. So the brutally dominant horses are somehow feeling like their needs are not getting met. And there's a lot of trainers who would encourage just to teach the horse to relax and accept life more. And relaxing and accepting life more will make that horse's quality of life better. It is a lot better option in horse training than a lot of options in the world. But I want to take it a step farther. And I want to take it a step farther until those horses that might be brutally dominant actually gather the information they need to feel good in their body. So they actually gather enough information through their eyes and their ears and their nose and their sense of touch where they feel like my needs are met. I don't need to be brutally dominant to have my needs met. I can see that they are met. And so that's what I teach when I go around the world, is I teach people how to show their horses how to use their senses better. The end result is maybe we can ride bareback and bridleless, which is fun for us humans, but it's not really the end goal for me. The end goal for me is that horses are happy and healthy and know how to make really good choices. And then they also, when they are ready, when they feel like they have a sufficient amount of information and they are no longer concerned about the world, they can rest and process it. So Ari back there, my stallion, you can see he's resting and processing information. The other two kind of looking out for him. Sassafras is the most social of the herd, so he's joined us for tea time. I am in a process where I just went through all the photographs to put in the new book, which should be out in November. And I am slowly building up the capacity to share this idea more. I do not think this idea will be for everyone. There will be a great percentage of the population that just want their horse to relax and do as it's told. And for those people, I'm glad there's a lot of trainers out there who will help you get that. I will not. I will help you develop your horse's sensory system to the point where they can gather enough information that resting is the natural byproduct at the end of each process, at each cycle of gathering. So when I'm with the horses, I'm going to help them gather information. I'm not going to tell them they should relax, and I'm not going to tell them they should do as I tell them until they're ready. there will be a time, like you can see already here, Sassafras is getting a little bit impatient. He says, I think I'd like to do something different, which means I've really just been sitting here too long. If I want to help him use his sensory system, I need to change something about the environment. And if I was working with him, I should have done that sooner. When we change the environment around the horse, they can gather different information. So he's gathering different information with me standing up than with me sitting down. He's not looking for carrots. He doesn't get any treats. He just gets social interaction, which he really likes. For a horse that's only been out of the wild a couple of months, I'm really pleased to have him here in the family. And I want to thank you guys all for joining me for tea time. I hope I gave you some good food for thought. When you go out to spend time with your horses, you get to make a choice. Do you help them exercise their sensory system in a way that makes them feel safe? Or do you just help them relax so that they become better servants to humankind? And that's a choice too. I want them to have a good life, either way, regardless of what you choose. And there might even be two contrasting situations. One situation where they always need to relax and do what they're told, such as out among cars or traffic. And another situation where they can fully use their senses and engage and think for themselves and solve problems for themselves because they're in a beautiful, safe environment like this one. So I'm going to end tea time there and go ahead and go off and work with my horses a little bit more. Wake up. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day and have some good things to think about.